Okay, JP back here. I forgot the videos ended right at 15 minutes, so here's a little supplement on the workbook in the back. Like I said, there's over 500 codependency statements to tap on with these worksheets. I believe there's about, I want to say maybe 10 of these. So let's take a look at them. Codependency statements to tap on. So first you would read each statement below and check off the ones you identify or relate to and rate the SUDS number or how much distress you feel over the various statements on a scale of 1 to 10. You might want to jot down the date or any aspects that come up around that statement. And then here's the Eft Setup Statement, even though, and then the blank would be whichever problem that you want to work on. I deeply and completely love myself. I had dozens of codependency books piled up in piles all around my living room carpet on the floor while I was writing this book, and I just grabbed every single one I could find. I looked up online. It may seem a little overwhelming, but I wanted a really good list. So I don't want you to feel bad. If you start feeling bad, just start tapping, because when we start to see all these problems in ourselves, it might trigger, our it's low self-esteem and stuff like that. And that's not what this is meant to do. It's meant to just get specific on which codependency statements that you want to tap on, and then put your before and after SUDS numbers after tapping. Then the next thing I was going to talk a little bit more about were the recovery statements to tap on. This is actually my favorite part of the book nowadays. After about a year of tapping on all my codependency issues, I started dating and relating in a whole new way. I got rid of all toxic and abusive type relationships. I went through a lot of different changes, but they were all for the good. I met my fiance. We've been together over 8 years as I'm making this video, but back then it was a new thing for me. So I did clear up a lot of my stuff and then started intentionally tapping in these recovery statements and intentionally deciding what I wanted in a friend or a boyfriend or a boss or anyone. So what I did on these, I changed up the statement a little bit to give you some options. So here's some recovery statements to tap on. And when we do the choices method, where we basically want to tap in a new choice, a new preference, something positive, these are all positive type affirmation statements. We want to rate how much we believe them to be true on a scale of 1 to 10. So 10 means you absolutely believe this to be true through your entire body, mind, and heart. And 1 meaning you don't really believe it much at all. So it's a little different. It's opposite of the SUDS number. We're so used to rating the intensity of our stress and distress and the negative stuff. This is how much we believe is true, these statements. And so we want this number to actually go up. And as far as the setup statement, I used some different ones. I used this one here. I now decide to believe, and then you can pick any of these that you're working on, that I'm good in relationships. I now decide to believe I can learn to do almost anything and do it well, that I'm a capable person, I'm good at things. So you could literally go through and tap in these things, or once in a while I just open the book and I just start saying these out loud to myself without tapping, sometimes with a little tapping. And it just puts me in a good mood. It just gets my self-esteem back up. It just makes me feel empowered. They're really good statements, and I tried to match them up with the codependency statements, from earlier. So these are intentionally written as positive choices after tapping out codependency problems. So here I'm learning how to. So maybe if you don't quite believe that you are doing this, maybe it's more believable right now that you're learning how to do these new choices. Okay? And you can use the phrase I'm learning how to on any of these pages, not just this one page, but I wanted to give some different choices. So this one is I'm learning how to. This one is I'm now moving into. Okay, this one is I'm now moving into. And I now prefer. I now prefer, or I now choose is another good way to set up these statements. Let's see if I have some more of. I now affirm that such and such statement is true for me now, or it's getting better and better each day is another one I like. I now affirm. And I now affirm. I think that's probably. Oh, and I now intend. You could also use that one. I now intend to release anger at myself and others, or whatever. And you can use these setup statements for any of these recovery statements, like I said earlier. Okay, so after going through all that, it may take you a few months. I know I did it for probably a good year. In the beginning, of course, I did it almost every day. And then in the middle of the year, I was kind of on and off. And towards 9 months to 12 months, I kind of was doing it as needed, let's say. When I took the self-assessment later, I was amazed at how many of these things I just didn't have at all. I didn't even feel them at all. I didn't relate to them at all. A few of them I did. I mean, I'm not completely issue-free. I do have issues come up at times, but it was just amazing how many of these I didn't have after, putting myself through a good program of tapping, as well as doing a lot of recovery stuff, which is basically a healthy daily routine to meet all 9 human needs. And I can talk about that in another video. I talk a lot about wellness. You can see my depression wellness coloring workbook that has a lot about the daily routine that I teach and talk about a lot. Here's some resources. Again, I apologize if any of these links don't work, but the main ones I'm pretty sure still do is the holisticheharmony.com, the emofree.com, innersource.net. I'm hoping that's still active. Donna Eden stuff is really good. And then the ASEP, the Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology, their website, I'm quite sure, is still there, because that's a really good association for people who are trained in energy psych, and they look into a lot of research and things. So there you go. The only other thing is that I had lost my other site and the content, which was recoverytapping.com. Right now I'm just keeping my recoverytapping.blogspot.com. It's a free blogger on Google, but it's still called Recovery Tapping. So you won't find recoverytapping.com, but you will find my blog. Okay, and then here's some references for, I tried to write this book like I was in college, and, and cite and quote things and list the main books that I was learning EFT from. And I don't know why I didn't, but I had dozens of codependency books, and I failed to take a list down of that. So I apologize, but I don't know. Anyway, a little bit about me if you want to, and a little bit about the book if you're interested, and some room for notes at the end. So that concludes the little video I wanted to make for you. How to best use my book, Emotional Freedom Techniques for Codependency Recovery, learning simple meridian energy tapping to quickly heal abuse and codependency issues and problems. Good luck with it. Let me know if you have any questions, if there's any problems. You can always hit reply from my emails that I send out, and I do get those and read them. You could make comments on my blog or under this video, and I will answer them. Okay, thank you very much, and congratulations on getting your hands on this. This book is still on Kindle for $9.99, but it's your special gift today, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about how to best use it so you don't just save it into your computer and forget about it and go on to the next thing. You know, really use this book, use it any way that you feel works best for you. All right, thank you so much, and take good care.